Hi, everybody, senior scientists. Want to make a quick update to the video I did this morning, and we did get a pump, but it was the wrong peak. The bottom line is that we're probably going to pump tonight, or at least by tomorrow morning on the 22nd. So you can see what's already happened in one of the coins as an example. This is very, very small time frame. So we're looking at the hourly here, and you can see how we've got this peak right there, right before the big pump. And that's what we just did. And so I was off by one peak, So we did pump that peak earlier today, and I'm using Bitcoin Cash as my reference, even though others are following suit. At least many that are I'm in. My biggest bags are Bitcoin Cash, Helium, ICP, and Cookie. So that's this. Let me show you Bitcoin. Oh, that's just another one of that. Oop, that's me. Yes.
In town, Bulldogs. We have Union University homecoming this week.
And hey, see, I do the weather.
Soccer matches on Friday. High pressure overhead. It's going to be a pick.
All right, let me go back here. So, yeah, here's Bitcoin Cash. So this is also on the hourly and earlier today. Okay, so that peak there, I wasn't sure if that was the big pump breakout. Let me see if I can write on here. I really am not a fan of iPhone. I miss my Android. My Android had like a stylus to it, but it's like a Note 9. Worked great. And all these software updates, it just ruined it. And it forced me to update. I went to iPhone because of family and friends. They keep sending videos on text. And if you have an Android, it comes through all pixelated. You can't see. All right, so this might work. Okay, so if you just follow these structures here, and you can even look at the RSI, the MACD. So the MACD, see how as that pump comes down, and boom, shoots up right away. So we are putting in this peak right here. This is your last moment to buy. Okay, just like it was here. And I mean, this thing's been following it. So you see at the very beginning, you have this drop. Kind of have a little U right at the beginning there. Sorry. So you have a drop, kind of a U shape, comes up, down, another U shape. Well, anyway, you can see the structures right there, right? But if you like even just go on the hourly, you can line those things up with Bitcoin Cash. So as I mentioned, you've got that little drop there. So I like literally did this hash mark to hash mark, but and I was convincing myself that this drop here, and when I woke up this morning, I saw that it was equivalent to um, to this drop, that it was equivalent to that drop right there, but it's not. Let's see here. I don't even know how to do here. Where is that thing? There it is. Okay. So when I saw the drop this morning, I thought we were putting in that drop right there, but in reality, we were putting in the drop right here, and then we pumped, and then I was like, okay, we're off to the races, but it actually came back down, so that now just confirms that I was off by one peak. Again, this is small scale stuff, so whatever. It gives you another few hours to buy is the bottom line. So go to the current. I mean, that's perfect area that we're hitting right now. So we'll come down a little bit more because it looks like it, when I look at all the coins that I've kind of already pumped out of here, because what's happening is we have Wyckoff accumulation taking place, and see all these drops and drops and drops. This is not bear. This is accumulation. And in fact, Caesar Gets Crypto is pointing this out, but I mean, it's evident to anybody who's looking at this stuff. We constantly are building bullish divergence. In other words, the price going down while supply is less and demand is higher. It doesn't make sense, does it? So it's got to pop, and it does. That's one of the things you can look at, and it's. I mean, if you have it on one time scale, it can be some confirmation. If you have it on multiple time scales, it's just like pretty much a given. And not only do we have that, we have bullish divergence. I mean, all over the place. So anyway, I don't have it turned on. If I turn it on, you can see it. But we're coming down to the low. Bitcoin Cash might come down just a hair more. So it should kind of line up with a kind of a rising peak there. So it might come down to certainly possible it comes down to maybe 475. Where are we at? 479 right now. We're talking within the next hour or so. This is on the hourly. So I suspect tonight, tomorrow morning, we should be getting that 20-30% minimum on pretty much every coin, because I have Bitcoin Cash going up to, I've got, so, I mean, it's going to go super, super fast. You're not going to be able to catch the pump, by the way. So when it does pump, we're going to be going up to these fibs in the yellow, but they're not just fibs, they're trading regions. So that's what you got to look at, because that's Wyckoff as well. Wyckoff doesn't, like, it's, what I've noticed is like you can't just follow fibs. You got to follow patterns and resistance and support lines, right? So in other words, trading regions. So we drop below the trading region here. This is what's called a Wyckoff spring. We did this one other time on Bitcoin Cash back in June, I think of 21 or 22. That's when I got in. I bought in around 150 bucks a coin, just randomly. I didn't even know what I was doing, and and I logged in maybe an hour later into my account. I'm like, oh, thing's up $1,000. I'm like, what the heck just happened? And then I remember later on that night, I was out with my wife. I'm like, hey, I bought a few $1,000s worth of this Bitcoin Cash, and I just made $1,000 in a day. She's like, what? And I looked at it. It was like up another $500. It was crazy. So spring tests coming out of that is going to be massive. Um, I also have. I talked about it in 2 videos ago, I think, and I posted on my community page. Again, this is pretty much universal. If you see all these cryptos, they're all following each other. All the ones in red and green. Um, so you got to get in right now if you want to make some good money here. So I have Bitcoin Cash going up to about 600 the next day or two. We'll say by the end of the week. Then 640, and then you know it might correct for a couple days, but by the end of the month, given the pattern it's been following for the last couple of years, I don't know what to do with that. If you go to my community page on my YouTube channel here, I have posted the images before, showing you kind of where we're at. And so this what we're doing right now is starting our big pump, and it is going to skyrocket. And this so there's going to be 3 pumps in this bull run. Um, the 3 certain, there could be a 4th blow off. Most times there is a 4th blow off, but not all the time. And so after the 3rd pump, that's when you want to start exiting, okay? Or if you want to catch each one and exit, because there will be corrections. But we're going to be pumping, say, like 37% or 40% in a day. It will correct down, 15, 20%. Maybe the subsequent day, you never know. But it will kind of correct down briefly. Maybe a week-long correction, okay? But if you buy in now, you're at the low. Look at it, it already shot up to 481. But anyway, you're buying in at the low right now. It won't be until the bear cycle, until we're back here again, because the first pump out of the 3 should bring us, because Bitcoin Cash, I don't have any direct lines, except for fibs and looking at some of the prior peaks. This first pump that should last a couple weeks, so I'm thinking maybe by the end of the month or early November, should get us up to about $1,100 or higher. But that's where I have, you see the 1618 to the 2618 there, and those are two different fibs, by the way. So if you're wondering why one's green, so you see the red line there? I actually have that's where I think the first pump is going to get us to. Now within that, there's daily ups and downs and stuff like that. But if you just hold on to it for a couple of weeks, I mean, where else are you going to get an investment like that? People are like, "Oh, I've heard this before. I've heard this before." I get it, but I've been detailing this pattern that it already has gone through, and we have been following each structure like on a weekly scale. So yeah, I might be off by a couple weeks here and there, but I've never been worried because there hasn't been any change. And so this is going to go up here to this red line, maybe 1642. So I kind of have a couple different ones drawn because I think there's going to be some chop there. But I think the first wave could be between 1155 to 1644 within a couple weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks. Then I think we, have maybe a month-long correction, maybe towards end of Thanksgiving or something. Then we start pumping again going into December for our second and third, and then maybe by January it's over with, or maybe even by Christmas. But I'm going to be counting the pumps. So pump one, once it starts kind of correcting, it might come out, buy in at a low, and then there will be a pump two. And people are going to be FOMOing in like crazy here within the next week, even within the next few days, because there are going to be some big gains. I think by the end of the month, a lot of our coins are going to 2 to 3x. So let's say you got $100. How'd you like to turn that into 300? I mean, that's like a given. That's not like going for any big high. This is like for a lot of us getting our money back. And so Internet Computer, I mean, my goodness, this is such a good chart, you guys. It's just ridiculous that people are sleeping on this thing. I mean, so I've got this thing going up. My first in the first wave here, I've got it going up to $54. This thing is at like $3. $3. And listen, it works. They're just building on it. There's a lot of hype with it. Helium Mobile, I use this all the time. I love Helium Mobile. I've never had an issue with their network. It is so cheap. I'm grandfathered in. When Coinbase had like this Helium Mobile thing, it was like $15 a month. Sign up and you get rewards. So I went through that, and yeah, $15 a month, unlimited everything for life. Like, I can't go wrong with that. I mean, but my son has it, my wife has it, and I think they pay like $35 each a month. It's just unlimited everything. It just works. You can. It's great. There's no issue with it. So, in fact, I think he contracts, using T-Mobile network in parts, but they also have like another layer to it, like a 5G layer, and you can actually earn crypto and stuff by mapping out certain areas. It's really cool. Check it out. Helium Mobile is a good deal. And what's interesting is that you actually get faster speeds than T-Mobile. So we had T-Mobile for a long time, and our speeds were pretty good. I mean, T-Mobile's fast, but there's a lot of congestion on the network. And so then they have this, other bandwidth that they have allocated to third-party contract, and Helium's, relatively small, tiny. Not a lot of people know about it. And so you're on the T-Mobile network, and you have zero competition for bandwidth. And then the thing is lightning fast. So we get better reception than T-Mobile. We get faster speeds, and it's everywhere. And if we want to go international, I think it's like, you can pay $10 or something and get data and all this other stuff. It's a good deal because we travel international a few times a year. So But anyway, this is it, guys. So you do what you want. And you know what? I want to tell you one thing. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is financial advice. I mean, because let's call it what it is. I'm not going to do those stupid, silly disclaimers. People say everything on YouTube, and you know, virtually none of it's valuable or true. So I'm going to say it too. And I just tell you, I'm not a financial advisor, but this is financial advice. Take it or leave it. It's your choice, not mine. All right, see ya. Hopefully, we can all make some money here in the next few days and finally stop worrying about this thing dropping. Oh, man, I listen to people and they're like, oh, it might drop, it might drop. And it's like, I don't care what the news is. I don't care what any of it is. This thing is following a pattern. I mean, I can go way back here. Oh, by the way, that spring test I was talking about, that's the other one was right here. So when was that? June? June? Yeah, June. June 2023. And so I bought in like way down here just accidentally. I was like, I want to buy some crypto. I had bought some Ethereum once and then I sold it. I didn't even know what it was. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that crypto thing again. But I'm going to find one I like. I was like, Bitcoin it was too much. It was like 40 grand. And I was like, I don't want to buy Bitcoin. And then I used Bitcoin once on a transaction. I think it was like on a poker site or something like that. It was such a nightmare. So they had Bitcoin Cash, and it was like virtually free. I think Bitcoin cost me like, you know, several bucks to make the transaction, and it was super slow getting there. And I was like, what the heck? And Bitcoin Cash was like instant, and it was, you know, like less than a cent. And so then I kind of got turned on to it. I'm like, I want to buy Bitcoin Cash. And I just happened to buy in at about 150 or so. And I've been buying since. So it's been good. All right. See ya.